Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Happy.
I don't know why I did. I was like, I almost raised the roof.
You're feeling it today, baby.
I guess.
It was that music playing outside of the Walgreens when we left just now. There was some kicking music.
Oh, it was.
It was.
It was, yeah.
Feeling a little hip-hoppy?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday drive. So, happy to be back. I think we missed one last week.
We did, yeah.
We did.
So, Avalon Road, Stony Brook West, Weedtopia, it must be said.
Okay.
It's a dispensary over there. So it's a greenhouse that grows things for medicinal purposes. And you can, right now can't smell it. You can often smell it. Anyway, sorry.
Okay. Also,
we have a friend named Daryl Ross, who is my best friend, who, if you say, I can smell it, he immediately says, I can smell it. I can smell it. I don't know. It's an Eddie Murphy thing or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
What does that mean? Anyway,
hi
guys.
Hi.
We're going to go do a Sunday drive today, kind of showing you a community called Johns Lake Pointe, which is down the way here. And then we're going to talk about the builders, a couple things going on. By the way, that's a closed out community from a while back, so it's purely resales in there. But
you're watching this. You can't be watching this until after this happened. That community is the location of.
Correct.
This. Now, I'm going to say this about 500 times. We're posting this on Sunday. Tomorrow, if you're watching this the day it posted, Parkview at the Hills at the Palmer Model Home. We will be there for live for coffee time.
Yes.
So we'd love for you to
watch,
but also come join us if you want.
Yeah,
so,
it's fun. It's fun.
First entrance there to Johns Lake Pointe.
There are two entrances. Yes, you're correct. So that's entrance number one. The main entrance, I always feel like there's always the main primary entrance and then there's a secondary entrance. The primary is usually a little bit prettier and fancier.
And this is.
And this one is. So we're going to go into the main entrance here. So just as a quick reference, over to our right, up ahead there's a stoplight, and then if you took a right there, you were going to be where Sunridge Elementary and Sunridge Middle School are. And there are also three beautiful communities over there, Cypress Reserve, Oxford Chase, and Black Lake Preserve.
Yes. I'm sorry,
no, that's fine.
Loop the thing 3 times while you talk about that, because we're talking about those communities while we're in this.
So those 3 communities over there, again, all closed out, 2 of which are gated. The Oxford Chase is Mattamy Homes, Black Lake Preserve was Royal Oak Homes, and then Cypress Reserve is Taylor Morrison. That one is not gated. Anyway, I just want to let you know that because it's nice to know kind of what communities are nearby. So again, here's the entrance. It looks so beautiful during the holidays. They have the lights that drape the palms there.
Go around again.
Go around again? Okay, well, I was going to stop talking about that now. So
I'm trying to get to the point of this thing, which is, so there's 3 sections of this area. So if you go real slow, you'll see at the side, this says Egret Hammock. So Egret Hammock was, that was Meritage when it was first built, right? And then over here is Heron Hideaway, which is also, and you can go down there if you want. Heron Hideaway, which is also, was Meritage, right? I think that was the only builder in those 2 sections, right? To start with?
I don't remember because this community was already... Well, they were also kind of dispersed a little bit. They weren't all just singularly... I think there was a couple that kind of overlapped within the same little section. Because these are some of the... So I will say this, what was really nice, I'll just go loop to the right and then loop it around. So if you notice in this community, excuse me, there are some big old homes in here with lots of square footage. So you have the larger floor plans with Meritage, and the other builder that I'm sure you were getting ready to get to is was Standard Pacific. Now, Standard Pacific actually merged with another builder, became Cal Atlantic, but this was built under the Standard Pacific switch over to Cal Atlantic.
But not this. This was Meritage.
Correct.
And if you look, I mean, these are Del Rios. What are some, the Wimberley?
I don't think they had the Barcelonas in here.
They didn't have Barcelonas in here, but
I love that floor plan.
But those big old honkin', and there's one that starts with an M. But anyway,
so pretty.
So I mean, they're pretty. They're beautiful. But like that Del Rio is almost, I think it might be over 5,000 square feet. So decent sized lots, but the house is taking the whole thing.
Right.
What I wanted to sort of talk about with you was. In this, so we showed you 3 sections. There are, when you look at pricing for these sections, now these homes still sell in the 800s, 900s, right?
Millions.
But when you go to where our listing is, but that's my point. There aren't a lot of millions in these 2 sections.
Right.
In the Standard Pacific section, there are routinely ones that sell for $1 million. Your listing is $1,042,000, and priced really well, by the way.
Love the Halloween decorations. Nice. Solid.
Oh, they got the Grim Reaper on the river Styx boat. Nice. Why? Why would in the same neighborhood, two different sections of a neighborhood, have a third section of a neighborhood that is significantly higher priced?
Well, this community is called Johns Lake Pointe. So there are some homes that are on Johns Lake. Yes. So you have some of the homes that are deeper into the community, which tend to be the Standard Pacific ones, which again are the larger, more expensive ones. The lots are typically a little bit better. And the builder was a little, had a different flair to it. You want me to go to that one or you want me to go down?
Let's go here.
So we'll go to the overlook. And I'm going to pull in real quick just so you can see the amenities here.
Yes. So which is called the Overlook.
Which is called, yeah. So this is the amenity center. So this community does have a lovely community amenity center. Nice large parking lot. You have the amenity center, the clubhouse, the fitness center. They also have tennis courts. Not all amenity centers have tennis courts, just as an FYI. So that's a nice little perk of this one.
Most these days don't. So it's nice. And it's not pickleball, it's tennis.
It's tennis. And there's also obviously the pool. So clubhouse, pool, fitness center, tennis courts, really beautiful. But yeah, so, kind of back to your question, you have a real, and by the way, this whole community is one large community, just because there's little sections kind of off of it. It's all the same community. But yes, because you had more than one builder in here, you tend to have sometimes, ever so slightly different. Now, and kind of to your point, I'm going to back up a little bit, unless I'm going to go down here this little loop, okay? This is a little cul-de-sac, so I'll loop down here because I know you want to point out the house. Yeah. The other thing to note is that a lot of the Meritage homes in this community when it was being built, not a lot of them, but all of the ones that back up to Avalon Road, which is not as desirable, obviously, clearly, as backing up to...
Can be wonderful.
Yeah. But obviously, if you've got other homes in the back that are lakefront properties that, potentially have riparian rights, they have, boats and docks, that's a completely different type of a lot within the same community. So that I think is going to perhaps have some play on that. But yes.
So as you're looking here, so you can stop right here for a second.
Yes.
So these are the two former model homes.
They are. The absolute of Standard Pacific.
They also happen to both be for sale at the moment, by the way. Mm-hmm. The one in front of us, candidly, has been on the market a while, and based on the pricing, will likely be on the market for a while. That's just my opinion.
Pretty pricey.
The one that's priced really well is that beautiful gray and white home there, which you can go past if you want. Go past slow. So this is your listing.
Yes, it is. It is the newest listing. It is beautiful. It is a large one-story, guys. It's 4,048 square feet, 3-car garage, and I love that it's a 3-car side-by-side garage. He actually had his boat in there one day. Really beautiful.
And it backs up to that amenity center. So there's not a rear neighbor. Yep. It's not on the lake, but there's
a lot of landscaping.
Yeah, and beautiful landscaping. The first thing people ask when they see that listing is there room for a pool? Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Absolutely.
There's a lot. They have done a lot of landscaping. They've done some additional pavers. They've done a fire pit. Yes, I am.
Go slow here, just because this illustrates the point.
Yes.
So this is a Standard Pacific home. This is why when we say they're more expensive. If you look,
luxury homes is what they are.
It's the balconies.
They're very high-end luxury homes. Yes.
It's that. Now some of those Meritage homes had tile roofs and whatever. And this is all conservation behind there. Mm-hmm. But you can just tell they're the same size. Those other Meritage homes are huge. These are also huge.
Yes, but
you see, there's conservation out to Johns Lake out there.
This is a beautiful community, and this is a great example of a community that has been sold out for years. Yep. But is really lovely, mature landscaping. I always tell you can tell the age of the home by whether or not they have their own mailbox out front.
Oh, that's a really good point.
They do have a mailbox here out front of these homes, but they are absolutely spectacular.
Huge selling point. By the way, a lot of people don't want to walk to the mail kiosk, so I'd prefer to not walk to the mail kiosk.
I'm gonna go to the right again.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
But this is why this is called Johns Lake Pointe, because this is the part of the community that sort of juts out into so Johns Lake is kind of surrounding us, and really kind of all over there, kind of over there.
Yeah.
So this is mostly like conservation back there, and sometimes when we say conservation that's not the lake, we mean it's a little swampier. But but I tend to find that to be beautiful. Like it's very Florida, whatever. So retention pond back there,
that's
and in the
distance,
and in the distance more. But in the middle of the fountain, it's still beautiful.
Really lovely out there. It's really beautiful.
This is a beautiful. And what I like about what we showed, that we went back to one, it feels like the same community, but it definitely feels like a different vibe. This section just feels like it's the other section's beautiful, but this is like it's got just a little. it's a different style. It's more of an Italianate style. Wouldn't you say?
Sure, okay.
Sure. Why not, if that's a word?
Yeah. It really is. It's quite beautiful. So another thing I want to mention about the location of this community. We talked briefly about the fact that if you're looking on Google Maps and you're looking for Sunridge Elementary, Sunridge Middle School, if you're looking for those other 3 communities that we referenced, just to give you an idea of location, here's what I want you to look up. Downtown Winter Garden, Plant Street. You are not even, maybe 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
To downtown Winter Garden. So when you want that lifestyle too, when you want to really take advantage of that proximity to what we call it downtown Winter Garden, or to Plant Street, where you have the farmers market. It's just so many bistros and boutiques and eateries and coffee shops, and it's just so amazing out there. And
you could live right here.
You could live right here.
You can even go slower if you wanted to as we go past the listing. It's pretty.
It is pretty. But you really are like 5 minutes away from that. You're also very close to Winter Garden Village, which is an outdoor, like our shopping area, which has everything: Target, Best Buy, like all the big anchor stores, and pretty much anything you possibly need, from furniture to pet supplies to office supplies to whatever.
Take us there. Come out, take a left, and then maybe take a right back there and show them those communities that we talked about, because I want to ask you about another subject. But,
sure.
In transition, my seatbelt locks up.
Uh-oh.
In the transitional period of doing that,
sure.
I just want to remind people that the open house that you missed was yesterday. So hopefully that's going to be a thing. But the house, we won't, by the time this airs, the house won't be pending yet, because even if we get offers at the open house, so still call. But this is, we have 6 coming up at Horizon High School, which you're a sponsor of, which is cool. We had Naisha Thomas. This is how cool my wife is, right? So, Amy taught somebody that is in the Broadway cast of 6. Like, she's in the original Broadway cast of this production. Yeah. She's Anna of Cleves, Naisha Thomas. So, Amy sponsored to have, meaning we gave an honorarium, as we say in the arts, to have Naisha join them via satellite, via like Skype, with the cast. So they all sat in the auditorium and they got to talk to Naisha for an hour.
It's pretty amazing.
That was really, really cool. And they got emotional about it. She got emotional about it. It was cool.
Yeah, it's very fun.
To connect. So, and we just know lots of talented people. So, if you need to talk to anybody that's talented or famous, we probably know. But anyway, then I was going to say, the Palmer. This is my transitional moment to say the Palmer is a beautiful home with a casita option and everything. You want to come see it anyway, but come see us, because we're doing Coffee Time Live, 9 a.m. to about 10 a.m. On Monday. If you're watching this the day this posted, meeting tomorrow. Right. So tell me about this.
And the community opens at 10, so we will be there prior to it opening, but you'll be able to access. All right, so we're just going down to where I told you. So the community over to the right that we just passed was Oxford Chase. That was the Mattamy community. Is a gated community. No amenities within that community other than, they actually have a really nice dog park and a playground, but no like pool, fitness center, none of that. Over to our left, you can see Sunridge Middle School. Yes, I know. What a big, beautiful building, right? Our schools here really are gorgeous. Yeah. It's a
and they're large.
It's a 3-story middle school, outdoor kind of a campus, or very, very much a campus when you actually go through those gates. Over to our right is Black Lake. Black Lake Preserve. That is also gated. That is a smaller community as well by Royal Oak Homes. Again, no amenities other than like a little playground type thing, kind of tucked. It's a smaller section, but beautiful floor plans. And again, that was when it was Royal Oak. So they have beautiful Parker floor plans. Was it the William?
The William,
The William was another big, beautiful one. So now we're in Cypress Reserve, and this is a Taylor Morrison community. This one does have amenities. Directly to my left were the original models.
That's the Turner, which for a while was our most popular video tour forever. Yeah. Because it's really cool. It doesn't have the
really
walkway.
Nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really pretty. But this community is also very nice. It's not gated. And this is, at the end of the street, essentially. So when you turn down at that stoplight off of Avalon Road, you've got the school to your left. You've got the other 2 communities to the right. And this one basically just dumps you out at the end of the road into this beautiful community. Again, Taylor Morrison floor plans are always very popular. Just kind of driving this way so you can kind of get a quick peek at the amenity center here in this community. And then, was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I had 2 questions for you. One is a new question that I just thought of, which is, so this community is not gated. Correct. But the other 2 that we saw are gated. Mm-hmm. But Amy, we don't see a lot of gated communities in some of your other tours,
right.
why is this house in Winter Garden different than some of the ones in Horizon West we don't see any gates there?
Yeah. So Horizon West, by design, is not allowed to have any gated communities. That was part of the
master plan.
Yeah, exactly. When they had that land rezone from agricultural to residential, that was part of the master plan of that whole area, of the way it was going to look, the way it was going to feel. Everything was going to be open and connected. Love the Halloween decorations, by the way. But yeah, so that's why nothing in Horizon West, none of the communities, even the iconic Toll Brothers communities, are not allowed to be gated there in Horizon West. And you'll notice, isn't it interesting? I said, my apologies. I said that I'm good. I had told you that Oxford Chase and Black Lake Preserve, no amenities but gated.
Right.
This community is actually larger than those two communities, does have amenities, but is not gated.
And so it probably has a lower HOA. I don't know the number,
I'm sure it would, because there's more houses in here. But
yeah, and also just gates are expensive.
Yeah, they
for
are.
HOAs.
So at any rate, it's just, again, so when it's
like, why are they following?
I know. When it comes to, I'm going to turn my signal on so it doesn't think I'm following. So when it comes to communities gated versus non-gated, that really is sometimes that is determined by the county or the master plan aspect of the area that you're looking. And you really can have a really small gated community next to a really large, lavish, non-gated one. So anyway, and was there another question you had while we finish up?
Well, go slow here as just to show. This is just a good example of that's a dry retention pond.
Correct.
That looks like a big open area. Mm-hmm. It's not really an amenity, but it does help improve value for homes that are by it.
Yeah, it's just open green space. Yeah.
And sometimes brown space when the community is first built. Usually fills in with some green stuff. So one thing that we keep running into, and we've mentioned this on Coffee Time and here in Sunday Drives many times, but just give me a quick rundown for the people. No contingency to sell, contingency to close. I can't say contingency right now. Contingency. God, what's going on? None to close, to sell.
Okay.
What are those three things, and why does that matter?
Okay, perfect.
If I'm looking to buy or sell.
This is the entrance to the community. I'm going to go take a left just to show you that because of fire and emergency services, they have to have two entrances into communities. So this one has a secondary gate that actually connects it to Black Lake Preserve. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Oh, you can only access it, though, as a residential exit for that community. Anyway, contingencies. All right, so no contingency essentially means that you're a cash buyer, and that as far as financing goes, you have zero contingencies. You could buy that home right now. You don't have to get approval from a bank. There's the gate. You are going to be basically good to go and buy that home. Most people are going to have a contingency, especially a contingency to sell or a contingency to close. So a contingency to sell means that as of right now, your existing home where you currently live, your home is either not on the market at all, or it is on the market, but it's not under contract. You don't have any offers on it. And so that means that you are contingent to sell. So that means that before you could close on the home that you want to purchase, you have to sell your existing home. Now, if you have your current home is on the market and it is under contract, and at that point you would have a closing date, right? So then you would know which way. I think I have to turn myself on. I'm good.
There.
If it is under contract, let's say you're home and on the market, let's just say October 1st, you're scheduled to close on November 10th or November 5th, then that means you are a contingency to close. That is far more desirable to a seller or to a builder, if the builder happens to be a seller for new construction, because that means your existing home already under contract and you're just counting down the days to closing. Once you receive the proceeds, the funds from the sale of that home, you now have the money with which to close on your new one. So when you talk about the liability and desirability of your offer, if you are contingent to sell, not super desirable, because there's no way of knowing when you're going to get your home under contract.
You're setting up dominoes there. It's
exactly.
Well, I can't buy your house till I sell my house, and I can't sell my house until someone, because we've seen contingencies upon contingencies. I hate that I can't say it right now. My mouth is all tired.
Because what if what if
the one you sell to they have their own contingency, so it's like it can be a thing.
Right. So your buyer's buyer, they could lose your buyer could lose their buyer, which means that the whole dominoes fall.
And that word that I can't say today because my mouth is all dry for some reason is it's a condition. In other words, this has to happen before this can happen.
Correct.
So it always comes up and people want to know, what does that mean? So a contingency to sell includes a contingency to close, because you have to sell it and
close.
So maybe it's another way to think about why it's not as desirable, because there's two things that have to happen.
Right.
You have to get it under contract, and that contract has to close. And sometimes people feel bad because we ask that question, and it almost sounds like, oh, so you can't afford to buy this. That's
no, it's not. No, most people
everyone
are
has it.
Yeah,
almost everyone has
most people are
contingency built in.
But on that note, and if you want to pop up the directions to the next place, I thought I had it on my phone.
We'll just go to 50 and we'll get it.
Yeah. On that note, there's two things I want to add to it, if I can remember what they were. So the first one is, I get a lot of people. Well, first of all, let's go back to the contingency to close. So let's just say I have a client, or let's say, I have a listing, right? I have a client, they're selling their home. A buyer comes in and they submit an offer, and their offer is a contingency to close. So their existing home is already under contract, and they're counting down the days to closing. My next question, to protect my seller, to make sure that the offer is really a good offer, my next question is the buyer's home, have they already had the inspection done, and are they out of the inspection period? Because remember, the inspection period is another safety period for a buyer's buyer. And so you want to make sure that whoever's home is under contract that holds that contingency, that we can get through the hurdles, one of which, the biggest one, is the inspection period. Make sure they get through the inspection period, because at that point, it's far more likely that things are going to move forward. Yeah. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to point out is understanding the contingency, because there's a lot of people that don't understand. They're like, oh, well, we have the money for the down payment. That's not what we're talking about. Right. If you've already got your 20% down and you plan on doing a conventional loan and you've got the 20% down for your home, that's fantastic. But you still have the contingency to sell the home. That's still a contingency in there.
Because, if you're still paying a mortgage on your previous home, then you might not qualify on your loan-to-value ratio, correct, your debt ratios, right, because you have to pay that mortgage and the new mortgage. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why it could be that. So it's some dudes working. They're digging a hole.
So it's just to kind of make sure people understand that, because I always have to kind of clarify. I'm like, so yes, you may have the money, the funds necessary to do your initial mortgage down payment, but that doesn't mean that you are qualified to cover two mortgages, which is what you would be doing if you closed on your brand new home.
Quick note about where we are. Gas is $3.06.
$3.06. It's $2.99 back there the other day.
Well, it's with their easy pay, whatever, but still, that's better. But that's to be expected, because it's October now. Yep. We're out of the summer driving season. So anyway, let's recap everything.
Okay.
We had an open house yesterday. I'm sure it went great.
I'm sure it did.
We will be tomorrow, if you're watching this the day that's posted, but otherwise, on Monday, the 23rd? We will be at Parkview at the Hills, the Palmer model for Lancy Homes.
Lancy Homes.
And it is a gorgeous model. So
and
please come see us, because we like to see you anyway.
That's fine.
So come by, and if you can't come by, watch us live at 9 o'clock, and that reminds me, I got to get that whole thing set up.
I know. We got to get to work here.
That's the best thing about my life, is that there's always another one coming up. And I love it. Okay. All right. So, hey, we're on Route 50. We're headed toward Ocoee, where you have another listing at 2121 Ancient Oak Drive.
Got to swing by there, check in on things.
Yep. And we're shooting the video that we showed you last Thursday in the universe you exist in right now. In the universe we're in right now, that video isn't shot and it's not posted yet. But it's all happening.
No wonder we don't know what day it is.
It's all happening, yeah.
It is. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us and for tuning in. Hello, sir, that decided to switch lanes at the last minute. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget, take a look at that listing again. Johns Lake Pointe, absolutely beautiful. Watch the video, rewatch this so you can get an idea of how really stellar that community is. The location is ideal. We appreciate you guys watching so much. As always, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you. Happy house hunting. Bye.